Okay, so um, I went over the rules and stuff like that, and I am going to now read to you the book of Job. And the reason I'm reading it to you is so that you know that you do not have to be a monkey and bum F Egypt because that, what they call it. Because once they're done doing this, they're going to act like they lost a lot of jobs when they were completely fascist with you. Okay? Everything should have moved just like flowingly, but they didn't want that. So, I'm going to first show you that I did take the claw, but this is of course afterwards from the original crab about it, the one that actually sells crab and stuff. And I made a little necklace with these claws because actually afterwards, supernaturally, scratches were, I was scratching myself for some reason. And of course, that goes back to, the two exorcist type things, if you want to call it that. If it makes it easier, basically, it's not so much just that. It's like if you do the Egypt story too many times, it still falls on the alarm category, and it's people are obsessed, with the Egypt story, if that makes sense. Regardless if they pick Russia or whatever, like they just literally have a goddamn obsession with it. And it's scolded, I think, in the Bible, like, I don't know. If I say 800 million or whatever, then maybe 800 million people survive. I don't fucking know. He just scolds it. And that was like a big drastic problem, right? And the other one was when he destroyed uh, cities that were connected to each other, but some were more abused than the other. And that is what these diabetes people might be going for. So I did see one from, what's his name? Cole Escola, where he's using really, really good film. And that kind of film is like usually like a grain, because there were color TVs before black and white. Yeah. And then they kind of had this like fascist view, early, the whole Roswell, they really did. They did. And that's why I would say you need to grow better and stop being the flower flower stuff that they were doing afterwards. Um, and what was I going to say? So I'm going to read that part for the good corn, and I'm going to get mad at the other ones for doing too much on saying we're not doing enough. But really, that job thing, if you really had a scare, maybe you could do it for like one or two lines. But after that, like, you know, it shouldn't be just because we're stealing information. Because actually, there is like a couple of ones that just put out random names, and it's actually nobody. So you start seeing bullshit on the internet of just gamers and things that kind of like keep going in the same way, like talking in the same way. Okay. And then it makes people like um give up. I don't fucking know. Give up, and then like they're more concerned about healthcare, but really the guys that are doing it are really, really fucked up. They're like, okay, yeah. Okay, so what I was gonna say is that, like, even if I did just before where they changed it to Ecclesiastes chapter 10, then flies cause the ointment of apocryphy to send forth stinking save for, so doth a little folly him that is in retribution for wisdom and honor. Down below it says, oh, surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and babbler is no better. Okay, well, I can tell you this. Serpents don't scare me. I actually like the turkey one because eventually the story of being in Exodus constantly is going to have its last rebuke by God himself. Meaning you've done the Egyptian story so many times and it's about done. So it's like me, I'm more worried about the turkeys that are the ones that like the birds, the vultures or whatever that have it's actually supposed to be a turkey and not a dragon. That's all they're doing too. They're getting high off of it and they are not allowing people to actually be productive. But then you have to say something. Like they were like, oh, you should say something. Okay, so if I say something, does it matter? No. Guess where I had to do silver shooting stars? It would say something stupid at my job. Act retarded at my job. I literally had to fucking do that for a little while. Even though I want it to end. Okay. And then I may never make like a lot of money, but I still had to do it, right? So here we go. We're gonna read it for like, you know, people like Joe and them who are a colonial eye, which he has, you know, close to. He's definitely on the older side, but had to be back again. Okay, I mean older, like, you know what I mean. That lineage is probably very old. Okay, the one that's near here, like down not that far from here, and he's Indian, but the other guys, as soon as they're not German anymore, they're like, I'm Indian. As soon as they're not a Salvadorian anymore, then they're like Native American, and it's just, they piss me the fuck off, like literally. And then they're Chinese. I was like, shut the F up. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna go forward. And I'm gonna just read Job because it matters somehow. Like, I hate having to do one of these. Like, you know. Where are we? Job. Where did you go? I filled out an application online and it ate me. Get off. Hold on. Where are we? I know. It's one of the oldest books and it's got to be like in the middle. Like, what the fuck? Okay. All right. So, ate your job in the middle. I was like, what is it doing in the middle? I don't know. Okay. One of them. All right. Anyways, it's still based off of that one anyways. Like, so, like, those whole things about the serpent thing, it really doesn't bother me. I just know that you're probably more of a person who's looking for a lamb in a den. And that Egyptian story kind of cuts off after a while, like, really bad. Like, I'll still do the waters of Meribah, but I'll talk about it and then like I'll give you examples of where they like tried to really mess that up. If you want the truth about it, and it even goes back to like a Tremor situation, like the movie Tremors. Okay, so let's see. All right, so there we go. Okay, so I'm going to read the good one, and this is the good one of 28. So Job chapter 28. He that setteth an end to darkness, and searches out all perfection in stones and darkness, and the shadow of death. The flood breaketh out from the inhabitant, the waters forgotten the foot, and they are dried up. So they're after the foot, actually. Right? Okay. That's weird. He's like, I do one of the videos I said I make incest videos for views. They are, or the other one I think was P-Day. Like in the actual Tremors movie, he asked Val, how many cows does it take to start a stampede? So anyways, for the foot, they are dried up, they are gone away from men. As for the earth, out of it cometh bread, and under it is turned up as it were a fire. The stones of it are the place of sapphires, and it has the dust of gold. There is a path which no fowl knoweth. This is even for the birds, because birds don't go underground, and which the vulture's eye hath not seen. And even for lions, the lion's cant, or the lion's whelps, have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion pass by it. So the young lion, even the old lion, no. He putteth forth his hand upon the rock, and he overturns the mountains from the roots. He cutteth out the rivers among the rocks, and his eye seeth every precious thing. He bindeth the floods from overflowing, and the thing that is hid bring forth to light. So something hidden gets brought forth to light. It's not worshiping the light. That's why I said, do you want me to do Ellie? And Ellie is like saying, basically doing I hate something, and seeing if they're just using social media or what do you call it, socialism to light it. And they pretend, like, if I don't like being harassed by someone at work, I can go way back. Like, I can even go back to, like, in school, where a girl violinist didn't like being harassed by the bass player. They were the same race. But if I do it at a job and I say I hate it, they will assume the race and try to say this and that, and they get lit from it or something. And it's so annoying because, or if I say I don't like this, like, even if I scream at my own mom or something like that, there are people out there who were like, whatever, there may be a few over something very serious, but me, I don't just run out and get lit because I disagree, if you want to call it. So the depth saith, it is not in me. The sea saith, it is not in me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. And it cannot be valued with gold, or Ophir with the precious onyx, or the sapphire. The gold and crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it cannot be for jewels of fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not even equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. And this is part of something like I was talking about that only God does with the colonies, like how they actually come about. I mean, we sell things, and we sell diamonds, we sell precious things, and then we fight each other because it kind of provokes this idea that it works, and we can kind of make it look that way. But ironically, if one of them goes down, another one will come up, and then they try to do 14s on it because they know that they kind of sold something that was wrong and done out of vain. But God does something else. He always makes them. So whence then cometh wisdom? Where is the place of understanding? Seeing it is hid from the eyes of the living, and kept close from the fowls of the air. Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight for the winds, and he weigheth the waters by the measure. So I'll give you, like, I had a favorite, like, wind talker. So when it's a bull, like in the corner there, where I said there was a spirit or whatever, maybe about 2 years or 3 years later, something pressed down on the tree. Like, it's called a wind talker. And really what it is like when a bull pushes down on a tree, like, you can see it, Like you'll see like a whole tree line, and this one tree just like gets like if something big was sitting on it or something. And this is not because these guys are running out here playing games with your head. This is something based off of something that they did or something that somebody else did, something like that. So, and you'll know you're gonna fight a bull probably or something like that from a Beelzebub or something like that. And I already threw mine away. So they're precious though, in a sense that they know this. So destruction does say we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof. And I'm not making this up, so I'm not trying to get views for it. I'm trying to read Job. Destruction does say we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight of the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. When he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of thunder, then did he see it, and declare it, and he prepared it, yea, he searched it out. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is actually understanding. That's why I said, to people that I've been like hating on a little bit, I said try not to do the same thing again. Why is it rolling like this? But that's why I said try not to do the same thing again. I'm not saying you be walking away perfect, but I'm saying that.